as a salesperson, what's one skill that you really need to acquire that's a lifetime skill that helps you close more deals? I'm Sylvan Bell. I'm coming to you live from Sacramento, California on a perfect day to talk about sales and a perfect day to talk about you. Now, one of the things that I see salespeople struggle with a lot in all sorts of sales calls, the beginning, at the middle, at the end, and not just in closing the deal, is tense situations. And I see a lot of salespeople walk into something that really wasn't perfect, that there were some struggles with, and they do everything they can to bounce out of the deal. And they start looking for reasons to leave. And what happens is they're going to be an okay salesperson for the rest of their life, but what they won't be is a closer. So if you're sitting here and you're going, hey Scott, I'm not good with tense situations, you should look for places where you could be a little bit more proficient when talking to somebody. And one of the first things that you could do is making sure that you're putting boundaries for the people that are around you in your life. Because you can take baby steps to work in and through tense situations. And you're like, but Scott, how does that help me in my sales career? Well, it helps a lot. Let's say you sit down with a buyer and they're upset for whatever reason. The people on the internet said something that wasn't true. Another sales guy from another industry or from another company said something that made them mad. That's the first thing. The second thing is, like, in your sales presentation, maybe they don't want to go through a presentation. They don't want to answer questions. And so what happens is they get angry and upset. It becomes a tense situation, especially if you don't know how to deal with it. Let's say that you're in your presentation and you say something that they don't like. That's another tense situation. Let's say you get all the way to the end of your sales presentation and you're asking them for the order and they're saying, I don't want to do it. And just know that sometimes on the first close, on the first cycle of the sales process for the closing, not everybody says yes. And sometimes people butt heads. And if you don't have the skill to butt heads with people and have a conversation and be calm about it, you lose your wit, you lose your cool. And so here's the thing, the real deal between a sales Joe and a sales pro. A sales Joe is going to lose their ability to close a deal because they couldn't handle a tense situation. Somebody who is a sales pro that's a performer or a closer is going to look at a situation and go, I've been through this before. I've in the thousands of sales calls that I've been through in the back of my situation, or the thousands of things that I've been through in my life, this is something that I've dealt with. All right, I can deal with this. And so one of the things that I have found, especially with people pleasers, people who want to make sure that the other person's happy and they have a very amiable personality, is they really struggle with tense situations. And so typically in the world of sales, they'll be a 30 to 35% closer. And depending upon the industry, they might make some really good money doing that. But in order to double that sales to be at 40, 50, 60%, 70, 80% closing, what's going to happen is they're going to have to learn how to deal with a tense situation. So sometimes that comes through role play. Sometimes that goes through your life. If that's you, sometimes that's you setting a boundary with the people that you meet with and say, this isn't acceptable. And watch what happens the first time that you do it. Oh, butterflies in the stomach, maybe a headache for a tough conversation. But what's going to happen is over time, you're going to build that muscle. Every single bit of the communication process is built on a foundation of personality, skills, or skills that you're going to learn in the future. Those three things. Dealing with difficult people is one. I like dealing with difficult people because in my mind it's like, you're being difficult because I know that you're scared, right? That's my first go-to. Tense situations, I know that I can work around because I've been through thousands of deals. I've been through thousands of trainings. I've got word tracks like you can't believe. You know, in my phone, I think I've got like 540 different word tracks that I could choose from at this point in my phone that I could look at and be like, I got some word tracks here. But tense situations for you can come down to two things. One, you're scared that that person's not going to like you. Or two, you're afraid that they're going to be mean to you. So if that's the case, you need to get some help to close more deals. Learn how to be good in tense situations and you can close more deals. And here's the dirty little secret in sales that nobody really knows and wants to talk about. Just because somebody's mad doesn't mean they're not going to buy. There's been plenty of times that I have sold stuff to people and they'll say, Scott, I'm not happy with you. I'm saying, but you still want the product, don't you? Yes, I do, right? They're really curt, they're really short, but they still make the sale, okay? They still buy the product. I make the sale, they still buy the product, okay? If you've never been to my channel, you've got one thing to do from here, just one thing. Find the subscribe button and click on it. It's like right here or right here. And every time I send out a video, you'll get an update that says Scott Bell Consultant sent another fantastic video. You should check it out, which you should. We'll see you soon. Thanks for dropping by. Aloha.